Well, hey everybody, it's Mike O'Shaughnessy.
Amy O'Shaughnessy.
And this is episode 6 of Restoration University in the
Yes.
year 2019.
Yeah.
Awesome new year happening. I hope everybody had an amazing Christmas and an awesome new year and are excited for what's going to happen in your communities and what we're going to do here, right here in Kitsap County with Restoration University, Acts 29 Church, and Restore Kitsap. Like, all the things are happening simultaneously.
For sure. Yeah, it's been great. We've been meeting with people. So we actually met with the cinematographer. Say that a million times fast. Last night, a good friend of ours. I hit up another artist friend of mine to see if he can do some art for us. So it's been really wonderful. First of all, we just want to say thank you. Like, people have been reaching out
totally.
and seeing how they can help and seeing how they can get involved. And that's really what this whole thing is about, is getting our community involved to help restore the community that we live in.
Yeah, totally. So one of the things that we've been doing is actually we've got a logo.
We got a logo.
And if you go to Restore Kitsap on Facebook, you'll see that Amy shared that the other day.
I shared our I sneak peeked it.
Yeah, and so be on the lookout for some merchandise with our logo coming up, because Amy's got some really kind of cool ideas to get our logo out there, and then start talking about some of the projects that Restore Kitsap and we'll be doing and partnering with other agencies doing. So
I ordered stickers.
She ordered stickers. She's super excited, as you can tell. They're supposed to be here today. Right? Tomorrow.
Yes.
She really wanted it on like a mug so she could have it like in front of the camera today. My mug is just says Harmony, but it's not the Restore Kitsap. Anyway, so we're out.
So
you guys can actually see that we're outside. We
Yes.
decided to not be in our living room for this, to enjoy the weather here in the Pacific Northwest. It's raining, which
it's windy and it's raining and it's
yeah.
freaking cold, but
it's amazing.
It's awesome.
We live in a beautiful place that God's created amazingly. The other side is, if you could feel this weather and understand that we actually have people that are living in our communities, and I'm sure wherever you're at, living in your communities out in some of this weather. And I want to encourage you that January is actually National Point in Time Count. What that is actually every county in the United States will be counting those who are experiencing homelessness, whether they're outdoors, living in cars, kind of couch surfing, and they're trying to get the best count they can in the area, because that number goes up to HUD. And as HUD
What is HUD?
HUD is Housing and Urban Development. It's a
Housing and Urban Development.
It's a federally funded program, so most of you guys know what that is. You can go to HUD's website, hud.org, and kind of find out more about them. But what HUD does is gathers all that information, and then when the budget comes out in the beginning of the year, federally, the budget comes out, and then as that federal budget comes out, then you can they allocate to each state, and each state to each county based on the numbers that are in each county. So I want to encourage you that...
So it's a trickle down, right?
Totally, it does trickle down, yeah. And so the numbers dictate how much money each county gets to help support those who are experiencing homelessness. And I'm going to be out in Kitsap County in the next couple of weeks, actually going to encampments, doing some surveying, because on January 23rd, here in Kitsap County, we'll be actually doing the official federal count for point in time count. So I want to encourage everybody who, if you're here in Kitsap, you can get involved. Go contact your Coalition of Care. You can actually email me or message me and find out how you can be involved. Or if you're not in this county, go to your local Coalition of Care, go to your local government agencies and find out how you can be involved with a point in time count, because they always need volunteers. They always need people helping to support some of the services that are out there. And another thing that's
we don't recommend that you go out in the woods all by yourself and go find encampments. So please be safe.
Part of the reason I do that is because I've been doing it for 9 years.
Right.
And so I've got great relationship, and I actually have started recruiting those that were formerly experienced homeless, going back out to encourage people to receive services, to get connected and plugged in, so that they can come out of the woods, out of the cars, out of tents, things like that. Because our desire is to see people restored. And what better way of doing that is showing examples of people who have been restored and can move forward with their life. So Amy, let's talk about a couple things. the marketing plans that we have for right now. What are some of the things that we're going to be doing as far as merchandise, video, some of those things that are on our mind right now?
Woo! So it's all about money at this point right now. I hate to say that, but that's really what the plan is we need to start getting some money in, and so we can start creating a profitable business in order to fund, help fund the existing nonprofits here in Kitsap. And also, I just kind of in my brain for 2019, my goal is to employ 3 people with Restore Kitsap, whether that be part-time or full-time, but employ 3 people with Restore Kitsap who are coming from homelessness or leaving what we call the life, which is prostitution or stripping or that sort of thing. But we want to employ 3 people by the end of September, by the end of 2019.
Well, September's a great goal. So I mean, it's 9 months. You got 9 months to do it. So
I mean, we could say
I'd love for
September.
you to do 12 months, but a little bit longer, but it's all right. You know.
Wow, I just say words.
She is just moving fast. She just wants to do it fast. So
wait, hold on, I got one more thing. So we're doing that, and then the other thing is I did buy stickers. We're interested in if people want to help kind of distribute things. So I don't want to say it too. There's a plan.
There is a plan.
But I'm gonna use a tactic called guerrilla marketing, and we're gonna see how that works. And because
where I
we
get in
only
a suit and throw stuff out in a
Like
gorilla suit.
oh, okay,
Gorilla
I was gonna
suit.
say like
no,
a real
not
suit.
a real suit. No. Why would I ever
I'm
do
a
that?
fan of you getting in a real suit. For those of you who don't know, my husband is handsome.
So not only, I'm gonna move on from that. Not only will we be like trying to help fund some projects for other nonprofits that we see are just doing some amazing work here in the county, but we also want to do some projects of our own here in the county, and some programs of our own that will benefit things that are filling in the gaps. So one of the things that we are going to try to do is not reinvent the wheel or duplicate services. So if there's already services, how do we help? We want to help those do better. But if there's not a service, that's where we can come in and develop something and say, hey, here's something that's filling in that gap between services. So.
Yeah, and you know, this might be different for you in your community. There may not be the same gap in your community. So if you are thinking about what you can do to restore your community, go talk to social services that are in the area and ask them, you know, what are the gaps, what are your needs? Totally, because really what we see a lot of times are people want to help, and that's wonderful. And so they start their own nonprofit, and their nonprofit is a small facet of what a larger nonprofit is doing. And so then what happens is they just end up kind of feeding this larger nonprofit with that small little thing, which is wonderful too. However, coming from a nonprofit where that similar things happened, there were always things that we could never get. And then there was always things we had too much of. You know what I mean? People are really
like
socks. I was gonna say socks, but people were like, "Oh man, the homeless need socks. Like their feet are wet all of the time. They wear shoes that are waterproof, especially in Washington. So their socks get wet, their feet get wet. They're constantly wet. That's not good for feet if you're knowledgeable about feet. And so there's like 8 million sock ministries, which are wonderful. However, shelters and all of that stuff, they will let you know if they need socks. So sock drives are great, but having a ministry around socks might not be the niche that you need to fill in your community. So find out what that is. We talk too much about socks.
Well, and the easy way to do that is with social media now is if you don't know who to connect with, put that question out on your social media feed within your community and ask the questions, and I'm sure that there will be somebody out there that can plug you into someone who knows where the gaps are, how to have those conversations.
Our cat.
And our cat is now upset with us because we're outside, and so is he. Okay, so a couple other things that are happening with us.
And I need to go inside soon.
A couple other things that are happening with us is we're working on our websites right now, so look for those to be coming out in the near future, hopefully before the end of February or end of January, before the beginning of February. And some of the things we're waiting on are actually from the state of Washington. It is our business license, which actually says that we're incorporated. So and it takes a couple weeks to do that. And
we sent that out
with the federal government
Over a week ago,
shutdown, with the
right?
federal government shutdown, some of the state stuff is actually being slowed up.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of in a holding pattern, which is awesome because we've got time to do some planning, some vision casting, connecting with other people, checking out other needs for resources. And then this Saturday, we have a huge first thing happening.
Our very first board meeting.
Woo-hoo, our very first board meeting. So
Yeah,
we're
we're
excited for
excited.
that. We'll be discussing some of our strategic plans, laying out a calendar for the next year of
Over
of
breakfast food.
Over breakfast food. It's always good
Why
to do
not
something
make
over
it
food.
fun,
Yeah,
right?
totally. It doesn't have to be dreary and dry. Like, you can have some fun in a board meeting because in the end we're serving God, who is an amazing creator, and I know he has a sense of humor, and
I'm pretty positive God loves bacon.
I'm pretty positive he does too. So it's delicious. So
All right.
so we're doing that. I just want to encourage people, like, get out in your communities.
Go affect your community.
Go affect your community,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And there's nothing too small that God will not honor and grow as you do that. So
It's
if it's a sock drive,
2019. You can
Yeah.
literally reinvent yourself
Totally,
this
yeah.
year. This year, like last year, I said, Lord, this is your year. This is the year for ministry for you, and I will do and go wherever you want me to. And already this year, it's proving that things aren't panning out the way that we thought they would, but they're panning out in an even better way because
Yeah.
the Lord is involved, because he's the one who's in charge. So take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Jesus has got it.
Yeah.
2019 is going to rock.
It is. And so I just want to thank everybody who's subscribing actually to this. I think
Yeah.
Amy said we have 16 subscribers.
15.
15 subscribers.
I think one of them is our son, but that's cool.
Our son watches it every week. So thank everybody for subscribing to this. If you have any questions, please comment in the video link below, and we would love to talk to you. Email back and forth, Facebook back and forth. We would love to talk and encourage you in whatever's happening in your area, in your life, what you want to do.
And you can email us at
Totally.
restore.you.amy, A-M-Y, at
She forgot it.
gmail.com. And we'll be getting our email addresses pretty quickly here.
Yeah, we just applied with Google for nonprofits,
Yes.
so we're just kind of waiting for those pieces
So
too.
our own personal email addresses.
Yeah, we'll have our own personal email addresses, and
At restorekidsapp.com.
And you can also message us at Restore Kids App at Facebook. Connect with us there.
Yes.
And if you want to
follow us on Instagram at Restore Kids App.
totally,
or
or snail
Restoration
mail,
University.
you can send us an email or a letter, or
Yes.
a postcard, or
We need to
whatever.
hurry this up because my nose is dripping down my
Awesome.
face.
So you can send us a letter to our P.O. Box, 1843, Silverdale, Washington, 98383. Mike and Amy O'Shaughnessy, or just address it, Restore Kids App, and we will connect with you. So
Yay!
awesome.
Also, we
oh,
will
go
be
ahead.
coming to you from different locations in the new
Totally, yes,
year.
yes.
It is our goal because our living room
It's tiny.
is our living room.
It's our living room. But we want to show you the county. We want to show you what's happening, and we want to show you the different people that are affecting our community amazingly. So
Totally.
Until next week,
Until next week.
we will encourage you and just be blessed in the Lord. Go out and make a change in your community.
Follow Mike on Facebook,
Oh, yeah.
Mike O'Shaughnessy III, because he goes weekly with some Bible stuff.
Bible stuff.
Well, what would you call that?
It's just I'm doing a new Bible study, and
Deep
I'm just
thoughts with Jesus.
There you go. Deep thoughts with Jesus.
And I'm trying to do them. I'm trying to get him to do them every single day.
I will get to the point where I get to it every single day. This new nonprofit thing is throwing my schedule off, but I'll get back to it.
It takes a lot of
So,
time, guys.
yeah,
It does.
Well, be encouraged, have fun, and go and have an amazing, have fun. Like, go out and
Yeah.
have fun. Share Jesus and have an amazing 2019. And until next week, we'll talk to you then.
All right.